What is up, you guys? This is All Day Day 1 on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you an overview video for the Archer. So the Archer kind of needs I would say it needs a buff, although it can still do good amount of damage. Um, but for myself, I don't necessarily enjoy playing the Archer as much as I used to, at least Gen 1 or Gen 2. But I was really hoping that the Archer would have been given a buff since then, because I feel like it's really behind in damage compared with other characters, because the attack speed is pretty decent, but the damage output is also about decent or less than decent. And then the abilities itself, I feel like take a little too long to charge, and also uses a little too much resources for the little damage output that it deals. Now, that being said, in PvP, the Archer is pretty good. It's got decent crowd control effects and whatnot, but it's not something that most people would choose, I suppose. Um, like in most other MMO games, though, the Archers are the ones that tend to put out the most type of damage. Because, I mean, you would think that they would have high amount of crit damage or something, but on here it's just I feel like the Archers were kind of held back or just not good. But I did hear that the PC version of the Archer is really good, and we just didn't get all of the abilities. So let's just hope that that changes in the future. The durability on the Archer also is pretty decent, I guess. But it does get a good amount of health. It gets 130. Well, it gets the same amount of health as some of the other classes. Um, what else? I guess I wouldn't call it a glass cannon because it doesn't have a lot of damage output, but the Archer could also take quite a hit. Now, the thing that sucks about being an Archer is you don't have any abilities that give you any type of survivability. So you don't have anything that gives you health or immunity, or I guess, invulnerability, immunity, and vulnerability, same thing, I suppose. You don't get a shield, you don't get anything. So you do get an ability that lets you use a shock cage, I suppose that's what you could call it, electric cage, that can stun enemies that cross it. But other than that, that's pretty much it. But the electric cage also gives you a damage buff. I believe it's a damage buff. Um, the cooldowns on this character is pretty good as well. You don't really have to wait too long for your cooldowns, because another thing about the Archer is it's a stance based character as well, kind of like the monk and the gunner. You have different stances with this character. So you have electricity, you have fire, and then I think just like straight physical, the physical arrows. So each stance also gives you different abilities, which means you have more abilities, less cooldowns you have to wait for. The Archer class itself is pretty good against trash mobs. Um, it's not the best, like I said, but it is pretty good. It's also pretty decent against single target enemies as well. The Archer is oh yeah, the Archer gets an ability, a special ability when you use L2R1. You have these arrows that you can just keep spamming. All of them are the same arrows: square, triangle, circle, R1, R2. It might be different with Xbox, with A, B, X, Y, and R1, R2. But you get spammable arrows that do explosive damage, which is really cool. The damage output is probably the best damage output in the on the Archer's loadout. And also the fire abilities, the fire stance is also really good for the Archer. But yeah, like other than that, the Archer I feel like really needs to get a buff before most people play it. Although I have seen other players do really good with them, but also those players were playing as in divine form. So when you're playing in divine form, all of your classes are technically buffed. But yeah, that's pretty much it with this archer. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a, if you think it's helped you, then go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any suggestions or questions, let me know down in the comment section. And that's pretty much it. This is All Day and Day 1 on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, and peace.